All right, this is Coach Johnson, live Algebra 3 review, Section P, Chapter 2. Man, we're really rolling today, and we're going to discuss the review even. And so we're going to get into some questions here. So let's get it underway. All right, so I've got students in here with my Algebra 3, and if you've got questions, I've got answers, and then we'll get it going. So if you've got a question, let's rock. Let's go, Riley.
Can you do number 18?
Yeah, let's do number 18. Lord willing, if this works. Say a quick prayer. Number 18. All right, let's take a look at that. 3x squared minus 7x. Oh, thank you, Lord. All right, 3x squared minus 7x plus 1. Okay? There is one formula that you will get on the test, okay? One formula. I'll give you the quadratic, all right? I will give you that. Although you should know that by this point, I don't want you stressing over that because I know there is quite a few topics that we're going to discuss. But with that being said, any of these quadratics on the quiz, I kind of told you the ideas of, hey, you're going to go through this type, whether it's factoring, complete the square, or whatever. On the test, it's very important for you to know, I will not do that. So you will have to kind of figure out what method is the best, okay? So what I always try to do is start off with, can I factor? Can I factor this? And if I'm unable to factor it, well, then we can move on to the next part, okay? So Riley, did you try to factor it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Riley tried to factor it, couldn't factor it. So what do you think we can go to next? An option. I would go straight to the quadratic, right? Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to go x equals negative b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? All right, quick kind of side note. This is not a part of the problem, but b squared minus 4ac is the, what do we call it? The gangsta name.
Discriminative.
Discriminate, good. And what does it tells us, Charlie?
It tells us how many answers there are.
How many solutions, real solutions, we have. Very good. All right. So as we plug in, we're going to plug in for A, B, and C. So B, we're going to plug in negative 7. Make sure we plug in that negative. A is 3, and obviously C being 1. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we got minus negative 7 plus or minus the square root. What's B squared? 49. I'll tell you this. These are little stupid things, but this goes a long way. I saw a lot of people, when they put in negative 7 here, they put in a negative 49 and it completely ruined their whole answer on the quiz, okay? Make sure, negative, when we plug in, it's as if it's in parentheses. So when squared, we would then put it into a positive, all right? And then minus 4, what's AC?
3 and 1.
3, yeah. 3, 1, which would be 3. Good. Good, Ryan, all the way from LA. All right. So as we simplify, oh yeah, forgot one more thing. 2a, which would be 6. Very good. So we have everything we need right there. Now, inside the square root, what can we turn that into?
12.
Yeah, we can turn this to negative 12, right? So 49 minus 12, what would that get us? Good, nicely done. Heard a couple of you there. 37. All right, so we have 7 plus or minus square root of 37 all over 6. Question, can I simplify the radical on the inside? No, can't. So guess what? That's your answer. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that kind of struggle with when do I reduce, when do I not? So to kind of help out with this, another way to write this, we could put the 6 to both of these, like underneath within the denominator. So what we could say is 7/6 plus or minus the square root of 37 over 6. That would be sufficient as well. But again, either or, you take either or on that, but then we rock and roll off that, all right? But that would be number 18. Great question, Riley. Good. Yes, Avery. Mallory. My gosh, y'all. On YouTube Live. This is embarrassing. All right, go ahead, Mallory.
22.
Yes, 22 states. Solve for G. Yeah, this one's a tough one. All right, solve for G. So now on this one, we only have one G, right? So we can kind of isolate that pretty easy. So we'll have the VT plus GT squared equals S. Now, Mallory, can you help me out? What do you struggle on with these? Because you're not the only one.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, fair.
I literally have no idea what that is.
All right, so what this is just some sort of formula or some sort of equation. The only difference between solving for x and what we've normally done is now we're just solving for some sort of variable, right? So what's the variable we're solving for, Malik? Okay, we're solving for g. Very good. Okay. So what is the goal of isolating g?
To get G on one side and all the other stuff.
Yeah, g on one side, everything else on the other. Now, as we do that, if we're trying to get this g by itself, what's one thing we could do within this formula to start with that process?
Subtract VT.
Good, London. I heard you, and then I also heard Mallory as well. We're going to subtract VT here to get that GT squared by itself, okay? That's excellent. So now I've got GT squared equals S minus VT. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, is there anyone that doesn't understand that, maybe doesn't get why we would do that? All right, awesome. So what can I do now to get that G by itself and isolate it?
Divided by T squared.
Yeah, why would we do that, Anjali? Why would we divide by T squared?
Because that would just leave us.
Good. That would leave us just with G, and that's our goal, right? Get G by itself. So when we cancel, we get G is equal to S minus VT all over T squared, and that would be sufficient. I lost you? Where did I lose you, Ryan? This part? All right, what's happening with G and T squared? They're like buddies, right? They're like next to each other. All right? They're homies.
Yeah.
What to do, right? So what do we have to do to get both of those broken apart? If they're being multiplied, what is the opposite? I call it the kryptonite of that GT squared?
Division.
Division, right? Because what will happen when I divide? Shoot it to the other side. All right, sparks fly like the 4th of July, and now G's isolated and we're good. Okay? All right? Awesome. Anjali? I'd love to do 24. Let's do it. All right. Without solving, this is what we were talking about, right? Determine the number and types of solutions. All right. Now, Anjali, help me out here. What are we going to be using for this one on 24? Yeah. What part of the quadratic formula? Yeah. What do we call that again? Yeah, b squared minus 4ac, and I already heard it over here, discriminant, right? Very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to put b squared minus 4ac. All right, we're going to rock off that. Now, before we end up plugging in, what do we need to do with the problem behind me?
Subtract the 2x and add.
Good. Subtract 2x, add 19, right? And when doing that, we get x squared minus 2x plus 19. Okay? Because everything needs to be on one side in order to solve, right? Now, we did do one formula, Ryan, which you're right with this, because when you question that, you're exactly right. Let's say I had one that was like 5x squared equals 20. Now, I wouldn't have to take everything to this side because I could just divide by 5 and square root, right? What throws like a kink in it is when you have an x here with the x squared. And so now I've got to do some sort of either factoring or something to be able to solve for x, right? Solve for x. But in this one, all they want us to do is solve for how many solutions do I have. And so that's why it's b squared minus 4ac. All right? What would be negative 2 squared?
4.
Awesome, 4. And minus 4, what's ac? 19, excellent. And so what would we know PEMDAS, right? We need to multiply first, negative 4 times 19. What would that be? Negative 4, 19? You got that in your head?
4 and 19?
Correct.
15.
No,
Negative
multiply. 'Cause we multiplied here.
76.
I was like, God.
Negative 76. You thought, why isn't anyone getting this? No, I got you. I appreciate you popped right off that review, and you just you said it. I love that. I love that. That's good. So when I combine now, what would it be?
Negative 72.
Very good. And so a negative value tells me within that discriminant how many solutions, Barto?
0, right?
Okay, 0 real solutions,
That's
right?
what we're doing.
That's all you would say, right? It would be 0 real solutions. And so we would put 0. It's running out of ink. Sorry about that. There we go. 0 real solutions.
Because it's a negative, right?
Correct, because it's a negative.
So 0 would be 1 solution?
0 would be one solution. Think of it in terms of plus or minus that square root, right? If it's a negative inside of a square root, we can't have a negative inside of a square root and be real, right? It's an imaginary number or a irrational number. And so because of that, we have 0 real solutions when that discriminant is a negative value. Does that make sense? Sweet. Hey, great questions. I love your attentiveness. Keep it up, all right? Questions? Any other questions out there? Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Can we do number 28?
I'd love to. Number 28, good. Hey, real quick, again, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I just want to make sure. P9, are we good on P9?
Yeah.
Okay. If you are not, questions off this podcast, you might want to ask me questions related to the very bottom. 28. You can go straight off the bottom on those if you do have questions on it. All right. So right in this one, all we're doing is graphing it, right? And so what it tells me is what the furthest left on that graph is, as well as the furthest right. So where does this graph going to head in terms of my furthest left?
Negative infinity.
Good, Alex. Yeah, negative infinity. And where's it going to head to?
0. It starts at 0.
Yeah, it starts at 0, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
But the furthest left we're going to go is that negative infinity, and then it's going to travel towards the right. Now, I don't mean that slash. I'm sorry. There we go. Goes to 0. Yeah, you don't have to put a slash in there, okay? Just want to make sure.
What?
Yes, you do not have to put a slash. It messed up. All right, so again, it should be filled in. Why should it be filled in?
Less than 3.
Yeah, less than or equal to. How do we know it's less than or equal to? The bracket, good. Parenthesis tells me it's not a specific value, right? It's either an open circle or we're headed towards infinity or negative infinity. Very good. Any other questions out there on the even?
Wait, you said that? Okay, yeah.
London, you got one?
33.
Mallory, I'll come to you too.
Even.
Is there one next to 33?
32.
Yeah, let's do 32. And again, I'll come to 33 later on in that next class, okay? London, so you can go on there if you have a question on that one. 6x plus 5 greater than, and then negative 2x plus 3, or x minus 3 rather. And minus 25. Very good. Okay, so what are we trying to do in this situation? All right, what is interval notation? Actually, that's step builder notation. That's step builder notation. Does anyone remember interval notation? You know what it is.
Less than or
Yeah, literally, this is in interval notation. We're just trying to solve it to put it into simplified interval notation. Make sense? Okay. All right, so what can we do? PEMDAS will guide us. What can we do with this?
So distribute the 2.
Good, yeah.
Negative 2.
Make sure it's that negative, right? So distribute that negative 2 to negative 2x plus 6 minus 25, and we'll keep that greater than symbol over on that side, okay? Now, any other thoughts on that? What can we do? Okay, yeah, we could combine like terms. I like that. On this side, 6 minus 25 gets me? Negative 19. Excellent. So we have negative 2x minus 19, and then we have the 6x plus 5 on the left side. All right? Any other thoughts?
Minus 5.
Okay, minus 5. Perfect. So we get what on the right side?
6x. Oh, the right. Minus 2x. Wait.
Yeah, negative 19 minus 5 gets me. I know I'm all over. I'm sorry. What'd you say there, Ryan? Yeah, negative 24 is right. Very good. Any other things that we've got to kind of solve for here? Add 2x. Very good. Add 2x. So now we've got 8x is greater than negative 24. Okay?
Yes.
Solving for x, what would we get here?
Divide by 8.
All right, divide by 8. Daniel, what would we get there? Once I divide by 8.
3.
Okay, so x what of negative 3?
Greater than.
Good. Greater than negative 3. Do I flip it?
I was about to ask.
No.
You're not dividing by 9.
Yeah, I'm hearing all around. You're
No.
Cannon and Sophia, you're both right. when I divide by a negative number, that is the only time that I flip it. Now, I forgot whether it was in this class or not. I messed up. I forgot. For me, I said something. I misspoke on something. If we were to flip it, all you do is flip the sign. Does that make sense? Don't put an equal sign underneath if it doesn't, or take it away if it does. Make sense? All you're doing is flipping the sign, and I think I put that on the podcast last night as well.
When do you flip it?
Mallory? The only time is if it's a negative value. If I divide by a negative, right? Then once I divide by a negative, that's the only time that I actually flip it here. Good. Or multiply, but if you multiply, I mean that's the same thing, right? I mean, you would be like if this was a fraction 1/3 and you multiplied by, or if it was negative 1/3 and you multiplied by -3, I mean it'd be the same thing. So yes, you're right. Who had a question here?
Me.
Anjali?
Okay, so for number 32, that would be parentheses -3, infinity.
Great question. That's actually an interval notation right here. That's an interval
Oh, so
notation.
we don't have to do that.
If I asked for set builder notation, you would tell me what? What you just said, right?
Yes.
So what would it be?
-3 and infinity with parentheses on both sides.
Good. And why do I have a parentheses on, I know this side. Why do I have a parentheses here?
Set value.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Set value. There's the set value.
Okay, and because it
There's
is,
no line underneath.
great, exactly, it's greater than, but not greater than or equal to. Perfect. Nicely done, Anjali. Awesome. All right, do you have any other questions for me? Y'all are rocking and rolling. Alex?
Number 20, please.
Yeah, let's keep going with 20. Now, Alex, I know this is another one of those quadratics, right? Do you have any idea of what type of method we could maybe use with this?
Could you add the 24 to the other side and then take the square root of both sides?
Ooh, you said that perfect. Why are you wanting to add 24 to the other side? I thought we wanted everything to the left or on one side. Why are you trying to do that? Okay, good, because we automatically think in our mind what method probably is going to be easiest here. Square root. Alex, you were right. I just want to make sure you knew. Okay. So we're going to add 24 to both sides, like Alex said there. And Alex, you said after I do that, I'm going to do what with that x minus 3?
Take the square root of both sides.
Good. Because it's squared, we got to get that out. So the kryptonite is square root. Okay. That's how we get rid of it. And so now we've got x minus 3 on the left side equals square root of 24. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
No,
then
plus
we
or
can-
minus. Plus or
Good.
minus.
Why do we do plus or minus?
Because it could be plus or minus.
Because, that's a very good answer. Good. And because we did what? We square rooted a square. Okay. So just be leery of that. I don't want you to miss. I call them stupid points because stuff that we shouldn't miss, right? So plus or minus, make sure we hit that. And then our last thing is what, Alex?
Add the 3 to the other side.
Good. And so we have 3 plus or minus the square root of 24. Still, we could maybe take it a step further. We did radicals before. What'd you say? Good, because 4 times 6 is 24, right? Take out the square root of 4, which would be 2. And so now we have 3 plus or minus 2 root 6.
So you just
Leave
simplify
that
it.
in.
Wait, how'd you get the 2 root 6?
Okay, good. Yeah, good question. So what makes 24, Mallory?
4 and 6.
Good. And can I take the square root of 4?
Yeah, 2.
Which would be 2, so I take a 2 to the outside. And so again, that would be the square root of 24 on that one. All right? Yeah, go ahead, Carson.
It's not about a problem in particular, but on one slide, number 10, do you want us to still state the restrictions?
Yes, on numbers, and you could just say it across the board. Numbers 1 through 15, other than 11 and 12, you need to make sure you state restrictions. Okay? On the test, I was nice, and when I did it, I actually have a separate space for you where I say, solve the problem, state the restrictions. Because on the quiz, a lot of you, guess what y'all did? A lot. You just didn't do it. And so, again, I didn't take off for the quiz because I know those are POC easy. All right? But at the same time, I know that we'll forget if we don't.
Thank you.
All right? Yeah, no problem. No problem there. Cool. Any other even questions? Yeah, go ahead, Mallory.
Can you do 10?
All right, we're doing number 10 here. All right, let's do it. Yeah, that one's pretty difficult there. A little tougher. All right, 4x minus 1. Did anyone else struggle with this one, number 10? This one is a little bit. Because you have to kind of factor twice using A times C method. All right, now on both of these, what do we need to do first? What's the first step? In adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, simplifying? Good, if we can factor, good JP, let's factor. All right, so if we can, let's factor both top and bottom. Now the top we can't, right? Simplified already.
Yeah.
Did anyone factor the bottom out? Or let me ask this, is there anyone that struggles with how to factor the bottom out? All right, go ahead, London. Well, question, good, that's where we start, right? Is there a GCF in that first one?
Actually, never.
There's not. So automatically we know trinomial, right? 3 terms. We know that GCF doesn't work. So probably either A times C or check and guess, depending on what floats your boat, right? So what we'll do is if we do the check and guess method, I know one will be 2x and x, right? And again, if you do it a different way, that's fine. Anjali, you said you already factored it. What did you decide to use on that one?
I used 2x minus 1 and x plus 3.
Perfect, exactly. And when I multiply this out to check and guess it, I then go straight up there, and I know it will be the answer I'm looking for. All right, so coming to this one, did you factor this one out, Anjali?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
3x plus 2,
And?
2x minus 1.
Excellent. And that's what you got there, okay? Is there anyone that needs me to go more in depth over this? Again, this was from the previous unit, but I want to make sure we're all clear on that. Anjali, go ahead.
Okay, so how do you know which ones you're supposed to distribute to each? Like, I know you're supposed to distribute, but how are you supposed to know which ones you're supposed to do?
I'm sorry, distribute to check it, you're saying?
No, I mean, like, when you're, like, doing 3x plus 2 times whatever's on the top, maybe. How are you supposed
Oh, yes. So the next step, you're saying. Perfect. Yeah. So my question is what's my common denominator? What will my common denominator be?
2x minus 1.
Okay, 2x minus 1, and you did GCF. Make sense?
Yeah.
See, common denominator is a little different. If only one value is within either one of them, we got to include it in there as well. Make sense? What would be another one?
X plus 3.
Good, x plus 3, and 3x plus 2. Very good. So I ask myself the question, what's this one missing that this one has?
3x plus 3.
Good, and that's how I know which one I am going to distribute, because what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the
Top.
2 to the top. Good. And what about this one? What would this one be?
X plus 3.
Good, x plus 3. We do to both top and bottom. Again, I do not have to distribute the bottom. The only thing I need is to distribute the top, right? Now, I will tell you this. If I could get all eyes up here just to make sure you know, one of the most missed parts of the problem that I saw, again, little things. It's not, nobody in this room that I saw is missing huge concepts. But little things go a long way, all right? Tell my basketball team that all the time. Little things make a huge difference. This negative sign in the middle must be distributed to the x and the 3. I would do that first before I distribute to the x plus 3 here. Because if not, you're going to mess up ultimately at the very end and forget to add it or forget to include it there. So just be leery of that negative on that side, okay? Do I need to go through that distributing on the top, or does that make sense?
I mean, for the second one.
For the second one, yeah, we could do that, okay? So we have up top, we have, what, negative x minus 3 times x plus 3. So what's negative x times x?
Negative x squared.
Good, negative x squared. We're just foiling or distributing, right?
Minus 3x.
Yep, minus 3x. And then the negative 3 we got to distribute to get negative 3x, and negative 3 times 3 gets me negative 9. And so again, that's that first part. Be careful. Make sure you do the 3x plus 2 and the 4x minus 1. Remember, there is an answer sheet online you can check out as well. Okay? All right. All right, we got about 10 to 15. No, we would distribute this, right? You want me to keep going?
Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Yeah. So now what would I get here when I FOIL on this side?
Okay, so 12x squared, right?
Yep, good, Mallory.
And then minus 3x.
Perfect, that's fine.
And then plus 8x. And then plus 2, or minus 2.
Minus 2, good. And now if we combine like terms on the top,
Okay. So 11x squared.
good. I'm gonna put in green up top for sake of room. Good.
Then cancel the 3x's, right? Can't you?
Which, this one?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
If I have negative
I guess
3x
I
and
got
negative
it.
3x,
No, I'm just kidding.
you're good.
Okay, so 0, right? Or is it 9?
I'm trying to see.
9.
Yeah, this would be negative 3x, negative 3x, negative 3x, which would be what?
So negative 12.
So it'd be,
Or
Okay.
positive 3.
all right, hold up real quick. I think we're seeing wrong, a little off here. Negative 3x, negative 3x, negative 3x, and 8x. Got me?
Alright, but I'm doing the 3's right now. So like 3, 3, 3.
Which would be?
So negative 3 minus 3 would be 0. Minus 3 more would
Be careful.
negative 3.
Be careful, negative 3, right? And then I go in debt. If you go in debt $3, right? And then you go in debt another $3, how much are you really in debt for?
Okay, so negative 6.
Correct. And then you go in another a debt for another negative
So
3.
negative 9.
Perfect. That's exactly. You may have said that
I
already.
did.
I apologize. And then plus 8x would be what?
Negative 1.
Perfect. Negative 1x.
Okay, so
Or
that's
just
it.
negative x. And negative 2 and negative 9 give me?
Negative 12.
Negative what?
11. Negative
11. Good. And then so the green would be over top of. Keep this on the bottom here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Keep that on the bottom. All right. Are there any other last minute things there? All right. Hey, do this. Keep it down just for a second for me. This is the fun part. All right, this is Coach Jay. We're signing out. Again, these were the evens on the review. Hope you have a great day. Happy studying. See y'all Thursday. Bye.